Hello and welcome to this session, which is around the 5 pricing mindset shifts that you need to make if you are currently struggling with raising your prices, charging those higher prices, and charging the prices that you need to charge for your premium packages. Now, you may have a whole host of other money beliefs that are holding you back, but the ones that I'm sharing with you today are the most common. And I'm just going to share with you what those mindset shifts are that you need to make, and also some journaling prompts, little action points that you can take to start to have those mindset shifts that are necessary. So let's get started. Right, so if you're ready, we will go through those 5 pricing mindset shifts. Now, the first one, it's a pretty deep one. We could spend loads of time on this, and it is that you're worthy of getting paid. You're worthy of getting paid those higher prices, those premium package prices. Now, for some people, they need to just have that mindset shift into just being worthy of getting paid what they're currently asking. Because there are so many people out there who are charging per session, per hour, or per package even, and they're not comfortable with their current level of pricing, even though it could be quite a bit higher. So that's the first shift, get into feeling comfortable and knowing that you are worthy and you are providing worth. Now, if you are having difficulty in this area, it is typically something around self-worth and some kind of issues there that need to be addressed. And the quote there I put on screen, believe you can, believe you can't, either way you're right, by Henry Ford. I am sure you've heard that before, and it is the same when it comes to charging those higher prices. If you don't believe that you're worthy of getting paid for your work, or getting paid those higher prices for your work, then I can assure you that you won't get that money from your clients. Because if you don't believe in the value of what you're offering, then your potential customers won't value you either. So by increasing self-worth, it becomes easier to charge those higher prices, and then the universe will reflect that back to you with more opportunities and more money. The journaling prompt I have for you today is for the next 7 to 14 days, list 3 to 5 things each day where you've provided value to the world. Where you've given, it could be in business or in personal life, where you've helped people, where you've given advice to somebody, you've maybe posted an educational video or post on social media, or you've written and shared a blog. All of these things are where you're creating value and showing your worth to help people who may or may not become clients, but you are giving out that value. And when you do this exercise for that week, 2 weeks, you soon realize of what value you actually provide, and then this just helps build up the I am worthy muscle. And that's what you need to start building up, to start realizing that you've got so much knowledge, you can help so many people in so many different ways, and you are worthy, and you're worthy of getting paid. So that when people work with you on a one-to-one basis, it's definitely worth them paying you the prices that you want to be paid and that you deserve to be paid. Another little exercise is to step into the shoes of somebody that you admire, an influencer in your field, maybe your mentor, and just imagine for a moment, that they're telling their crowd about this service that you offer, but they're the ones that are offering it. What do you think they would charge? And you know what? It may be that your unconscious mind comes up with something like £6,000. And, you're struggling to charge, you want to raise your prices to £3,000. Well, if you keep doing this little visualization exercise and journal around this, when you know that you're offering the same, you might not be as well known, but you're offering the same kind of value and potentially a higher value, because clients are going to be getting more of your time. You may not be as well known, but that's not relevant. Suddenly charging your £3,000, it becomes more realistic for you, because you know that there are other people out there who would be charging a whole lot more money. So again, we're helping our unconscious and our conscious mind make that mindset shift. Mindset shift number 2 is to think value and not time. Now here's the thing. You're running a business, whether it's a side hustle or full-time, part-time, whatever, it doesn't matter whether you're a coach, a consultant, a therapist. You are actually running a business, and you are no longer getting paid for your time because you've got other things to do as well as seeing clients. And your clients don't care, how long you're spending training, keeping up to date with the latest things that's happening in your profession, the time that you spend marketing, devising your programs, and the time that you're spending on discovery and sales call. They're concerned with the value. So should you be. That's where the customer's concern is. It's the value that they're getting, then that's where you should have your concern as well. So you need to start shifting your mindset from thinking in units of time and in units of sessions, and start to think about the value of that service to your client. So a little action step for you to do here is to ask your past and current clients what they've been able to achieve as a result of working for you, and just start to make a note of all the value that's out there. And it might be interesting, particularly if they're past clients, asking them what they would have paid if you'd have been upfront and told them about all these extra things all the value that they received. You may or may not want to do that part, but at least gather the information about what value it is that you're creating. And you can charge more for things that are based on value rather than things that are based on units of time in most cases. Now, I know I went to see a health kinesiologist who I absolutely respect and admire, and I forget what she charged per session. Some of those sessions were up to 90 minutes or slightly over, and she was charging, let's say, £65. And I had 3 sessions to cure a problem with my sinuses. But the value to me of going months without waking up with a headache, when I was so used to waking up with a headache practically most mornings, the value to me was tremendous, along with the value of, for the first time in absolutely years, despite having hay fever, could spend time in the summer sat outside, next to trees and plants and flowers, and it was something that I'd not been able to do for an awful long time. Now, if she'd have tapped into that value that I was going to get, particularly the one of, extra time during the day to spend on my business, and said, what, it's going to take 2 to 3 sessions, that's the average, I'm just going to charge you £500, is that okay? I would have happily paid that £500, which is considerably more than the 3 sessions at the £65 or whatever she was charging. And you'll find that is with a lot of your clients, because when they know what the value is, they are willing to pay, and you can be willing to accept that money. Now, value pricing or pricing value is a big topic, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, but you must at least be able to switch your thinking away from units of time and sessions and thinking about the value that you create for your clients, for your customers. Now, the third mindset shift is that it's expensive to pick your brain, and you need to remember that. Remember that the next time a friend or a colleague calls and says, can I just get your opinion on, and can you just help me with, or they might even say, I've done this myself, I'm happy with it, but I'd like to run it past you to see what you think. That's still picking your brains. You are the expert, and you need to remember that. You've undertaken loads of training, you've attended many conferences, no doubt, and you've just got loads of experience. And that's why they want your input. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be times or particular people that you will help on the odd occasion, as long as they're not constantly requesting this from you. And there may be time when you do help them, of course. We all want to be sociable. We all want to be connected in some way to our friends in particular, and people that we've got strong working relationships with. But you need to set the boundaries. And you need to set very clear boundaries. First of all, you need to learn to say no, or to establish with people what those boundaries are. Because whatever you are giving away stuff for free, you are telling yourself at an unconscious level that you're actually worthy of being paid for all this information that you have, because you are quite willing to give loads of it away for free. So it needs to stop. Another thing you can do, a journal prompt here, is just think about all the ways that makes you unique to deliver those services the way that you do. There may be other coaches or consultants or therapists that do exactly the same thing, as in the product or the service that you're delivering, but they don't do it the way that you do, because you're the only one with your mix of experience and your mix of training. You are unique, and you need to remember that, and you need to remember that you're an expert. So this kind of journaling prompt helps you to tap into your value, so you can just stop giving it away for free. The next one is the money mindset shift. Number 4 is money is just an exchange of value. It's nothing more. It really is this simple. Money is just a tool, and we need to view it as such. I know we put so much emotional attachment to money, and the prices that we ask, we're asking for money, and it's got such an emotional charge. But yet it's something that's actually something that was just made up many, many, many years ago, of course, but it was made up as a tool for exchanging value. And we just need to remember that. But of course, a lot of people, coaches and consultants, they kind of think, well, yeah, I get that, but is my service worth it? Just take a moment to think about, is that you? Does that run through your mind? Because not everybody actually says this out loud, or is aware that that's what's running in their unconscious mind. But it is a question or thought process that is going off in your unconscious mind for a lot of people. Just that niggly little thought of, is my service actually worth it? Well, you can start to think about and uncover those unconscious money stories that are running on autopilot in your unconscious mind. And these are some journaling prompts that you can use. So something like, my services aren't really worth, and you would put the monetary value in there that's relevant for you. It's unethical for me to charge that amount of money. I could help more people if I keep my prices low. Oh boy, I wish I had a pound for every time a client said that. Another common one is people think I'm a bit of a fraud or a bit of a scam if I charge whatever the amount of money is that you want to be charging those higher prices. Just journal around what beliefs that you have behind those statements, and then just be asking yourself, is that actually true? Do you really believe those thoughts? Of course, the first step is journaling, so you can get those thoughts from your unconscious mind into your conscious mind, and then you can remember them because you've journaled them, you've written them down, and then just be asking yourself and journaling around, is it actually true? Do you really believe that? And then just drilling down. Maybe you don't believe it 100%, but what do you believe? And then, is that true? Do you really believe that that's true? Just keep drilling down and drilling down, so that you get to what it is that you actually believe. And sometimes this can take quite a little bit of time to drill down and get to and go from something like, my services aren't really worth £1,000 a session, And you can drill down to what it is that you really believe. And you may find one of two things then, that actually it isn't something that's prohibitive, that you actually do believe, because actually you do believe that your services are worth that amount of money, or you certainly don't disbelieve it, in which case you've just solved a problem. Or the other thing you might uncover is the actual limiting belief that presents itself as my services aren't really worth whatever the amount of money is. And then you can do those work on whatever work you would normally do to diminish the effect of limiting beliefs, whether it's EFT or some other form of reducing the impact of limiting beliefs. But you need to drill down to what they are, and it's becoming aware of them, because that's the number one key. If you can be aware of those limiting beliefs, if you have them, then you can start to circumvent them and realize that they are playing a part in stopping you charging those higher prices. Then last but not least is Mindset Shift 5, and that is that you can do good, that you can help people, and actually you can make money with that. We don't need to be taking a vow of poverty to be a good person. And, if you're somebody that's really motivated by charitable concerns, environmental issues, you're really you're into the arts, then, the more money that you make in less time, then the more time and money you'll have to do what good you want to do in the world. Now, here's the truth about money. It's neutral. It's not good or bad, it's neutral. It's just a tool. We've already mentioned that. It's just a tool. Where it becomes good or bad is it's not money that changes, it's the person that's using it for good or using it for bad. So if you want to be doing good things, you can do more of them if you have more money, and you can get more money if you can charge and are willing to charge higher prices, and those premium prices. So this mindset shift is all around putting your oxygen mask on first. It's about looking after you. You don't want to be stressed out about money. You don't want to be in a position where you can't afford to pay bills or repay debt. Because when you get into those positions of being stressed out financially, you won't be able to give 100% to your clients, and you know what? You could then end up missing the chance to help more people or to help the causes, the concerns that are important to you. So if you do need to work on this mindset, a journal prompt there is to just reflect on what you heard as a child about people who are wealthy and those who are poor, particularly those who are wealthy, because that's where most of the unconscious money stories that are running in the back of your mind, in your unconscious mind, it's going to be around thoughts about, potentially things like, rich people are horrid, or it's greedy to be rich. Whatever it is that you heard or saw when you were a child that you've built up a belief around. So you want to uncover those. But also reflect on all the ways that money can do good, that are important to you. Because there are so many people doing so many good things that we just don't hear about. The media is very good at telling us all the people that have money that have done so many bad things and have exploited people and not used the money for good. And we forget about that there are people that the media just don't tell us about, the wealthy, the millionaires and the billionaires that are doing really good things. We just don't hear about them. They don't sell newspapers. They're not newsworthy headlines. And we need to remember that you can do good, and if you're a good person, you will do good with money. So you can tap into that and with what you would do on all the things that are important to you. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. And of course for listening as well, not just watching this presentation, for taking that time out today to start to understand the 5 important mindset shifts that, if you don't make them, are going to keep you held back under that glass ceiling, not being able to charge what you're worth, not being able to charge those higher prices, not being able to charge for your premium services. Now, of course, mindset shifts are just the start of the process. There's a whole process around value, and you'll notice I've mentioned value quite a bit of time, and I shall talk about pricing your value in later videos. But for now, it's all about starting to take those steps to making those mindset shifts, so you make the rest of the process in it. Working out the value of your service offerings, you make that a whole lot easier, and you make the sales conversations a whole lot easier when you can tap into the fact that you are worthy of pricing the way that you want to price and charging those higher prices. So that's it from me. I look forward to seeing the next video.